everybody. Welcome back to the Tipsy Ghost. We're your tipsy hosts, Sarah, and Lindsay.
Hey guys.
Okay. I tend to hyperfixate on things.
Huh. Weird.
Right now it is space.
Love space.
I hate space.
I don't enjoy space. No.
Space.
I don't want to be there, but I like the idea of space.
No, I don't like learning about it either. I would rather not know.
It's an infinite space.
I don't like that.
You know the infinity symbol? That is space.
I understand that. I don't like that. I don't like to think of an infinite amount of anything.
It goes on forever.
Space is a vacuum.
Okay, can we continue? I get it.
Here's what confuses me about space is that they have like, here's what space sounds like, but how does space make sounds?
That's
It's
space.
just a giant vacuum.
Because it's a vacuum.
That's what it said. I mean, that's what it said.
It sounded
That's
just
what
like
NASA
that.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah and I impersonated it perfectly.
Truly what it sounds like.
You are welcome
You
if you're
have-
listening to this in headphones.
You have been there.
They'd be like, oh my God, was that space?
Am I in space?
NASA? Is that
They've
you?
been there. They must know.
I don't have a helmet on.
Frozen.
Speaking of which,
Please.
I know we've talked about planets before.
Yes.
Love planets.
Boyston gave us some really cute stickers with all the different planets.
Yes.
But I thought I would tell you what would happen to you if you landed on each planet.
Okay.
I don't like this.
This is
I'm
fun.
starting to get chest pain.
Okay. I feel like on the first planet,
Live in my world.
Earth.
This is where I've been.
Terrible. Do not recommend.
Dumpster fire.
let me know what happens if I land on Earth.
Janky. Get rid of it. No, I mean, of course, we got to start with
Venus.
Mercury.
Okay.
I went to the closest planet to us. Why
No,
did you go Mercury?
from the sun?
sun.
We gotta
Okay.
start.
I don't know the order, period. I went to a private Christian school. Don't judge me.
Oh,
Okay,
planets
we'll
are not real.
We'll teach you. It's Mercury.
I learned the planets, just not the orders.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
All
We'll
right,
teach you.
Mercury.
They're fictional.
Science is real.
So sorry. Just keep moving.
Okay.
It's fine.
Mercury's really hot.
Yes, I did know that.
Okay, so Mercury is the closest to the sun, so it
Hot.
is hot, right? But surprisingly,
SPF 1000.
Venus is the hottest planet.
Ooh.
I know
Really?
that's a fun fact.
That's fun.
Mercury, though, is extremely hot on the side that faces the sun
That makes sense.
That does make sense. Yeah.
and completely like thousands degrees cold on the other side,
Okay.
Interesting.
right?
So there must be a happy medium somewhere.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Right on the side, dividing the two.
Within seconds, without an atmosphere,
No atmosphere. Yes.
you'd be exposed to deadly solar radiation, extreme temperatures, and lack of oxygen, leading to rapid death.
I feel like if it's thousands of degrees hot, you would instantly
This is
burn.
hypothetical.
Nobody's been to Mercury and come back?
No.
Okay.
We barely put things on Mars, okay?
Yeah, that's true. We haven't even been
You
to
sound
the
like you have
moon yet.
thoughts. Oh? This is your Christian school showing. Science is real, Lindsay.
I'm just kidding.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. No oxygen.
I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like there's no oxygen in any of the planets, right?
Earth. Hello.
Okay, besides
Duh.
Earth.
Where are you right now?
Okay, sorry.
I know it's all hypothetical, but it's kind of fun.
Okay,
To
I got
learn
it.
how long you would live on the planets.
Not long on Mercury. Got
Not
it.
long.
No.
Actually, not long on any of them.
No.
All right, what's next?
Venus.
Venus.
Ooh, fly traps.
Yes.
They're all over the planet, I hear.
I have a feeling there's no atmosphere and you would die from lack of oxygen.
Okay, there is an atmosphere. However, it is toxic.
It's not cute.
Ooh.
It's a sulfuric acid.
Ew.
Ah.
Thick atmosphere. It is so thick and foggy you cannot hardly see the sun.
She
Okay.
thick.
It sounds like hell.
It is. You die in less than a second. The thick, toxic atmosphere and crushing pressure would kill you instantly,
Well, that's nice. You don't have to like suffer.
followed by the intense heat burning you alive. Because it is the
Okay.
hottest planet.
Free cremation.
You just gotta fly on over.
Family doesn't even need to worry about my body. It's taken care of.
Okay.
What's next?
What comes after Venus?
I don't know.
Mars.
Earth.
Oh.
And then Mars.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
we're
of
skipping
course.
Earth, though.
We're skipping Earth.
No. How long can you live on Earth?
It varies widely.
From 0 to 122?
It's
Isn't
a
that the
long
oldest
time.
person?
Earth has an atmosphere.
Yes. It has
Um,
oxygen.
it depends on where you're at.
It's toxic in other ways.
Anyways, moving on. Mars. We're moving on to Mars. Our
Mars.
sister planet.
Mars has potential.
It kind of does. But you could live for minutes.
Okay.
Thank you. I will cherish those minutes.
You might suffocate due to the thin atmosphere, which is mostly carbon dioxide, and the freezing temperatures would cause hypothermia. It does get pretty cold. However, it stays around 70 degrees Fahrenheit. It does get down to negative 220.
Oh. Well, that's a lot different than 70 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, it ranges.
Just bring your nice Columbia. It's fine.
Yeah, but if the range is between 70 and negative 220, I feel like the average is going to be below zero.
Again,
So
bring your nice Columbia.
I'll bring my snow pants, my ski pants.
It's just slightly further from the sun, so it gets a little chilly
Okay. It's a little chilly at
out
night.
there. However, we put rovers on Mars.
They survived.
Those little rovers are
They don't
so
have
cute.
lungs or skin.
But they're kind of like little personalities. Have you watched them?
Are you talking about Wall-E?
No, what? Jerk. The cartoon movie?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a child's movie.
No, it's
No.
not. It is incredibly sad.
I've
It is
actually
really
never
sad.
seen Wall-E.
And perhaps
Don't.
Wall-E is based off of the Mars rovers. They actually have rovers on there that like they roam around Mars, and sometimes they get stuck in little crevasses.
I don't want to know about this because it's just going to be a sad little rover.
No, it's so cool, and they take the most amazing pictures of the
Abandoned.
sky.
It's an abandoned little rover. He's so lonely.
Next up is Jupiter. Jupes.
You go there to get
Oh.
more stupider.
Big Jupes. Jupiter is
Isn't that a freezing planet?
torrential.
Yeah, I think anything past Mars, Jupiter to Pluto, they're all gas giants.
Same.
Which that kind of blows my mind. How is it
Yeah.
just
Man.
how are they just balls of gas out there?
Please tell me.
And why do they look so big? I don't know the answer. That's just a question.
It's just their gas.
So we would die instantly because of
Less than
the
a second.
gas.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Atmosphere.
lack of solid surface, intense radiation, and crushing atmospheric pressure would kill you instantly.
Intense radiation. Wow.
Hang on. So are you telling me Jupiter is only gas?
Yes, so is Saturn, and so is Neptune.
I don't feel like. So you're telling me Pluto can't be a planet, but those gaseous ones can?
That's what I'm saying. Pluto is technically a dwarf planet, but I don't know. I think it was adopted back in by NASA.
Pluto is
justice
always
for
a
Pluto.
planet. In my heart, it's a planet.
It's
Okay.
weird.
I need to
So-
write a strongly worded letter to NASA.
You do it. They will change their position.
Well, now that you know that they're all gaseous giants,
We're not going to survive on
you
any
don't
of the
survive
gassy
on
giants.
any of them.
I mean, I didn't
Surprise.
have a lot of faith we would survive on any of them.
So Saturn, less than a second. Like Jupiter, there's no solid surface, and the high winds and pressure would be instantly fatal.
What about the rings? They're made up of tiny little rocks.
Yeah.
Is the tiny little rock, big enough to hold us?
Could we
Probably.
skate on the rings?
I bet you they're moving pretty fast, though.
Okay, seatbelt.
Yeah, maybe the moons. Maybe we could land on one of their moons.
There we go.
Okay, Uranus is the same. Uranus.
Did you know 64-ish Earths can fit inside Uranus?
Quick Google.
How many Earths can fit inside my anus?
No, do not ever. No.
In
We've already learned how big that muscle can stretch from a prior
It's
episode.
63.
See?
I didn't doubt you. I just asked you to rephrase.
I did. I doubted you. In Saturn, guess how many?
How many Saturns can fit inside Uranus?
No.
How many Earths?
can fit inside Saturn?
124. Saturn feels really big to me.
Saturn's got the rings, and so it's like,
Let me give you a hint. It's pretty big.
okay, 890.
Close.
Seven.
764.
Oh, I way underestimated. I said 124. Jeez.
Okay, Price is Right rules. You win.
Okay, what
Woo!
about Neptune?
You went
This is a
over.
fun game.
How many Earths?
Yeah. How many Earths in Neptune?
333.
452.
57. It's not as big.
So close.
We have no
Concept.
of sizes of these planets.
Turns out they
No.
have no mass because they're just gas.
Here's the biggest one. How many Earths in Jupes?
Okay,
Jupes is the biggest.
3,897.
Price is Right rules.
One.
700. No, because I know it's bigger than Saturn, so 700.
If we're going by prices right, then Lindsay wins because it is 1,300.
You gotta stop overshooting. Okay, so we are going to die immediately on every planet except Mars, is what I'm hearing.
Which we knew, but I just thought it'd be fun to tell you how fast you die.
Under a
Instantly.
second. Yes, under a second except Mars. You got a couple
On
minutes.
all of them.
That actually is very reassuring.
Why?
Okay.
You won't suffer.
right, I'm going to tell you guys a story. You ready?
Yes.
It is a true crime.
True crime.
Thank you. I would like to give you all of the trigger warnings now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. This story does involve sexual assault of both juveniles and elderly. I'm so sorry. So we're going to start October 31st, 1981.
Halloween.
Sister Tadia Benz, a 76-year-old Catholic nun, was sound asleep in her second-story bedroom in the St. Francis Convent in Amarillo, Texas. Someone snuck in her room, sexually assaulted her, and then murdered her.
We're starting with the nun? An elderly nun?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, starting
I
out
warned
strong.
you.
I know, starting out strong. Okay.
Her body was found by another sister around 7:30 a.m. after they noticed that she wasn't at the 6:30 a.m. mass. Police found the knife used by the killer outside of the convent, and a witness claimed that they saw 17-year-old Johnny Frank Garrett leaving the convent. Johnny just so happened to live across the street, so this made it very convenient. November 9th, 1981, Johnny Frank Garrett was arrested and charged with killing and sexually assaulting Sister Benz. When police searched his home, they found a knife that was similar to the murder weapon. They were not able to find his fingerprints on the knife used to commit the murder, but investigators claimed that his fingerprints were found in her room.
Well, that's a little suspicious.
Who was Johnny Frank Garrett?
I'm wondering.
Can you please tell me?
Thank you for asking. Law enforcement already knew Garrett because he had been in trouble, off and on, for years for committing petty crimes. And to make things even more confusing, what?
The word petty crime.
Makes it seem like,
It's
I don't know.
petty.
It is petty.
I'm going to take your cupcake.
I mean, he was a
That is
juvenile.
petty.
He was 17, so technically they are petty.
Is that what that
He
means?
Took their cupcake.
No, I'm just
Oh.
being funny. Not very well. Don't give me your pity laugh.
Well, to make things even more confusing, Garrett admitted that he had been at the convent earlier that day looking for things to steal.
What are you going to steal from a convent? A crucifix?
His petty crimes.
A picture of Jesus?
Yeah, I don't
Some
know.
holy water?
I don't know what they keep at the convent.
Some nun clothes? I mean, like, what are you stealing?
A habit.
Okay.
Isn't that what that's called?
A Bible? There are better places to steal from, is what I'm saying.
It's across the street.
Is there?
If I was going to rob a place, I would not go to a convent where there's a bunch of elderly nuns.
Where would you go?
I don't know.
McDonald's?
Go
I'd
like
like some
a
fries.
gas station or something.
Give me your fries. No, ma'am, you gotta pay. All right.
I would go to a bank.
Oh,
I
yeah,
feel
there's
like
that.
a bank would be way harder to rob from.
Let's go to McDonald's or the gas station.
Give me your fries.
Some Sour Patch Kids. We know who the mastermind of our trio is here.
Not it.
French fries.
Can you throw in a McFlurry?
The ice cream machine's broken. Damn it.
You know that $5 pack of cookies? I want it for free.
Hey, that's already a good deal. You get like 12 in there.
No, we need it for free.
Yep.
See, I cannot be in charge. Well, anyways, Garrett was described as being, quote, extremely mentally impaired, chronically psychotic, and brain damaged.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some big
It's not a recipe for success.
terms for the brain.
Big terms.
Indeed.
I mean,
They
that
are big
does
terms.
not sound great for his brain.
He had some problems. A mental health professional described his background as one of the most awful examples of abuse and neglect that they had ever encountered.
Mm.
So when he was younger, Garrett was sexually assaulted by his stepfather, and then his stepfather hired him to have sex with another man. He was introduced to drugs and alcohol by other family members at the age of 10. These drugs include paint thinners and amphetamines.
Mm.
I feel like that might lead to some of those
Strong terms, yes.
strong terms.
Strong terms.
Experts feel, weird, it's like I knew my own self. Experts feel that this could be a major contributing factor as to why he suffered brain damage.
Yeah, I mean, using drugs is obviously going to cause you brain damage, let alone when your brain is still developing.
For sure. But also, I feel like paint thinners especially. Man. What is that, huffing? Is that what people do?
Yeah, huffing. Not good.
Thank you.
It's not good. Got it. Okay. Sadly, he was regularly beaten, and on one occasion, he was put on the burner of a stove. So around age 14, he was forced to perform bizarre sexual acts and participate in pornographic films. So you can say, yeah, this is a fairly traumatic and abusive upbringing.
You said his stepfather. Where is his mother during all of this?
Don't ask questions.
Okay.
So he was arrested at 17 years old, and according to his confession that he never signed, he assaulted Sister Benz and choked her to death. He also said that she recited the Lord's Prayer during the attack.
Oh, that's so sad.
September 1982, Johnny was tried and convicted of the crime. Information about his abusive upbringing and mental health problems were not made available to the jury. His lawyers tried to say that he was insane and suffered from multiple personality disorder. That's what it was called at the time. However, prosecutors insisted that even though he might not be quote unquote normal, he was aware of his crime and understood the punishment. He was found guilty and sentenced to death despite being 17 years old and having mental health issues. He was held at Ellis Unit near Huntsville, Texas. 11 years later, Pope John Paul II urged the governor to grant a reprieve and prompted a hearing by the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles to consider whether Garrett's sentence should be changed to life in prison.
How did this come across the desk of Pope John Paul II?
That's what I was wondering. Why did the Pope get involved here?
I think because he was a minor when this happened and they sentenced him to death, and then the people who were advocating for him were saying that he had all these underlying mental health conditions that were never taken into consideration, and so they were really trying to get the governor to try to change the sentence from death to life in prison. I'm going to tell you now that did not work.
I was going to say I have thoughts, but I'll wait for the end.
The board voted 17-1 in favor of the death sentence.
I do see the pause, only that he was an adolescent. I feel like we don't commit a lot of adolescents to the death penalty.
Right.
Yeah. And they were just
Like,
trying to get a
hardly
life
ever.
sentence instead of a death penalty. Like,
Yes.
they weren't like, release him. Okay. So I
Yeah.
do see pause with that.
Well, and 16 Catholic bishops from the Catholic Diocese of Amarillo opposed his execution. So they were trying to, I think, say that, yes, we know he killed Sister Benz,
Mm-hmm.
right? She was a Catholic nun,
Part of the community.
part of the community, but we feel that he should not be sentenced to death, that he should be changed to life in prison. Interesting fact, his last meal was ice cream.
Mm.
And his last words were, quote, "I'd like to thank my family for loving me and taking care of me, and the rest of the world can kiss my ass." He was executed by lethal injection on February 11th, 1992 at age 28. He maintained his innocence right up until the very end.
So he wasn't even on death row for very long. I feel like people nowadays are on death row for 20, 30 years.
Right. Yeah, his was 11 years.
11 years,
Mhm. So 2004, an Amarillo attorney named Jesse Quackenbush.
That's not a real name, Jesse. And also, you're an attorney and your name is Quackenbush.
Right.
At least it's not a doctor.
Well, that's true.
Your Honor, I'm represented by my attorney, Quackenbush. I'm sorry.
There's a quack in your bush.
I'm sure, Jesse, that is your legit name, but
He was hired by Garrett's family to help try to clear his name of Sister Ben's murder. He claimed that the evidence was ignored and mishandled and wanted DNA evidence retested. Quackenbush stated that Garrett didn't write or sign the confession and was drunk and high on LSD when he was stealing from the convent the day of the murder. Quackenbush also pointed out similarities between Sister Ben's murder and the murder of a 77-year-old named Narnie Bryson. They were killed 3 months apart in a similar manner and in the same part of town. His evidence was so convincing that the district attorney and detectives were convinced that the same person had committed these crimes. I am not going to say his name right. Leoncio Ruda, age 54, was convicted of Bryson's murder after his DNA matched that at the scene of the crime. Supposedly, he admitted to sexually assaulting and beating a nun on Halloween in 1981 during an interview.
wow.
In an even more interesting twist of events, a man named Ralph Erdman, who was the forensic pathologist involved in Garrett's case, pleaded no contest to falsifying autopsies and tampering with evidence after serious omissions were found in approximately 100 cases that he was involved in.
Wow.
I can't
Conspiracy.
stand people like that.
I know. Pretty crazy. In 2008, Jesse Quackenbush, he's back, makes a documentary titled, quote, "The Last Word," which details the murder of Sister
Ass.
The last word was ass.
Ass.
Movie title? Ass.
His documentary details the murder of Sister Benz and the investigation that led to Garrett's arrest and execution. It's pretty clear that the film's trying to maintain Garrett's innocence.
Sure.
Quackenbush argues that Garrett was failed by a, quote, dysfunctional family life, incompetent trial lawyers, politicized judges and district attorneys, and zealous media.
Or the pathologist that decided to falsify reports.
I would say, and. Yeah,
And
all of it. There were so many multi-system failures happening at once, then ultimately he paid the price for all of them. There's also a horror film,
Of course there is.
and this is how I found out about it.
Hang on. Have I heard of it?
I don't know. Probably not. I mean, it's one of those like
Is it on
Tubi.
Is it on Tubi?
It might be on Tubi.
It's not The Nun.
It's not The Nun.
Love The Nun.
Do you really?
The whole franchise.
Of The Conjuring, that whole world.
Yes. I just think it's nice and spooky.
Yeah. Can we go see Nosferatu?
I'd rather see, what's the other one that came out recently?
Oh, Heretic.
Yes.
I have not seen a scary movie in theaters since Paranormal Activity 3. I watched the last 10 minutes like this.
Of 3?
Yes, 3 spooked me more than any of the others.
No.
Maybe
Paranormal
'cause
Activity 1
It was
is
opening night.
the OG.
1 and 2 I watched like in my dorm room. Like, so I guess I wasn't as afraid, but like in the theaters is something else.
1 is the best.
I can't tell you the difference between any of them.
All right, what's the name of the movie this is based off of? I don't think we're going to get it.
Okay. The horror film is titled Johnny Frank Garrett's Last Word, not to be confused with The Last Word.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have never heard of it.
I've never heard of it.
I watched it, don't you worry.
Where was it on?
Tubi.
It is on Tubi.
How did I know?
Maybe
This sounds
I
like a
need to
Tubi
check-
movie.
Maybe I need to check out Tubi.
Tubi's free, and it does have some good movies on
You would
there.
enjoy it.
I will start watching Tubi.
Tubi's, well, now you can watch Johnny Frank Garrett's Last Word. Okay.
Okay.
Ass.
Ass. It's ass.
Search for ass on Tubi. Just
I don't
kidding.
know if it'll
Don't
come
do
up.
that.
Yeah.
We do not recommend.
Don't take advice from Lindsay.
You might get something different entirely. I'm not
I
sure.
don't know what's on Tubi, but I wouldn't
I
recommend.
don't know what genres they have, but that doesn't sound like the horror genre.
It's giving adult film.
Okay, so there is a horror movie that's based off this. You watched it,
Of course, I watched it.
and what were your thoughts?
I mean, I watched the whole thing. And at the very end, it says this is based on. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I get annoyed and skip through it. But at the very end, I think it says something like this is based off of a true story. And so, of course, I had to go look it up. And here we are. But in the film, it follows pretty closely to the actual story. But it does show a final letter written by Garrett that promises revenge on those that were involved in his unfair trial, which I don't think is real. But I don't know. So, shortly after his execution, a series of unexplained deaths begin to occur among those involved in the cover-up.
The curse is real.
That's
Seriously?
right. That's what it is. A juror then tries to uncover the truth and break the curse. And that's how I found out about it. There you go. That's the story of Johnny Frank Garrett. His last words.
That is terrible. Ass.
So, other
Terrible.
than the documentary that was lawyer's name,
Quackenbush.
Quackenbush.
other than the documentary that Quackenbush came out with, has anything like nobody in the legal system has said that they've done any wrong?
No.
Okay.
No matter of fact, they have all said that they did everything right. And
What was the year?
Of course.
that this all happened.
Like the original years, like whenever he was tried and
was the late
1981,
80s. Yeah.
I believe.
yeah, no, they did everything right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, some of these stories just make me more mad than anything. Because I don't know what happened. I mean, Johnny Frank Garrett might have done it, but it doesn't really sound like it. Just based off of the little knowledge that I have. But, you know, they're going to stand by that.
You know, regardless of if he did or did not do it, I can say with quite a bit of confidence that the legal system was not run correctly in this case.
That's where the frustration comes in.
Yeah.
What would be your last meal?
We've talked about
we
this.
have talked about this. I remember.
Not
You
ice
wanted
cream.
like a nice crispy bread with some salted butter.
Sweet cream, salted
Sweet
butter,
cream, salted butter. I remember this.
Yeah.
A glass of wine.
wine,
Some sweet wine.
I probably said tacos or something.
seafood, crispy potatoes.
Yes.
I do like a fried taco. I
Uh-huh.
would go for crab rangoon.
Mm-hmm.
Just like one of each thing.
Sarah said tacos and she likes tempura vegetables.
She wants vegetables.
Tempura vegetables. Okay. They're fried.
With a side of ranch.
Lindsay wants a nice steak dinner.
I do. I want steak and asparagus and mashed potatoes.
Asparagus for your
eye
last
is
one?
Love
gonna stink.
asparagus. She's
It
having
doesn't
fried
matter.
veggies.
What if you pee yourself and then everybody's like,
Too bad.
God.
They killed me. It serves them right.
Man, she should have had some Flagyl before we let her go.
She was not okay.
Listen, I'm going to gorge myself. I'll probably poop myself too when I die. Serves them all right.
Yeah, you have to clean this up.
Kiss my ass.
It's my last gift to you.
Well, happy memories. Okay.
And we're going to end it on that. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in this week to our true crime episode. You can always find us at thetipsyghost.com with our socials linked from there, or send us an email at thetipsyghost@gmail.com.
Please give us a 5-star rating and a great review anywhere you listen to podcasts. We really appreciate it, and it really does help.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll catch you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.